All right, guys, we're gonna go over the RCA 500 here real quick. It's raining, but I want to get this video out. There's been a lot of questions since my post comparing this with the Evo. Want to get this also out of the way. I have zero affiliation with either company, no dollars are exchanged other than me purchasing this equipment, whether it be the RCA 500 or the Easton made Evo. So, like I said, this is the 500, the largest one that they currently make. Comes standard with a toolbox, sawdust blower, and then the conveyor is also standard. I think it's optional on everything else basically in their line, but let's get to it. So this conveyor is an absolute unit. It's 16.5 foot long. It pivots left and right hydraulically. The tension on it is automatic. I've had a few different processors in my life, and they have all had chain driven conveyors. Don't know if I will ever go back to a conveyor that is chained because it is so quiet. I don't know, it just makes a big difference in running it and the enjoyment that you get. So I think I could probably run 20 cord through this machine without having to move my processor. It's hydraulically, up and down, left and right, works great. You can adjust the speed of the belt, the throw, all that stuff. The other thing that I like about the conveyor, which is also a byproduct of the trailer, is how much space I get between here and the ground. So you can see I got a good bit of junk built up there. Every day when I start, I typically just come in here, clean this out so it doesn't get that spot, and then I'm up and running. It folds up for transport and then actually telescopes into itself hydraulically. That's pretty much it in the back here. I guess we can go over the saw head. So the saw head is inside here. It's all hydraulic. There's no tools. Actually, I lie. There's one tool that you need. You need to loosen this, but I've done it once, and it's heavy enough to keep itself there, so I don't really bother with it. Toolbox is nice. Extra bars, chains. It's raining right now. It's bone dry in there. That's a nice feature. Standard on the 500. Large gas tank is pretty solid. I've filled it once and I have about 20 cord through this machine, and I don't know how much gas I have. That is one note that I don't like about this, that I did like about the Evo better, was I had a sight gauge on my fuel. Hydraulic tank is kind of this whole corner, and you got your fill line here, and then your cap right there. It's two little tools, or two 13, I think it's 13 millimeter socket, and then you can top that off. Moving on to the trailer here a little bit. So with this machine, I do a lot of mobile processing. That was my plan with the other one as well, the Easton made Evo. But this one here being on a, kind of like an aftermarket trailer. This trailer is specifically built for this setup though. You can see the cutouts underneath the deck, and then there's a cutout underneath the processor itself. But a byproduct is I can put a bracket here to hold all of my wedges, all 5 of them, 6 of them, and it'll take up, from here to here. I still have space to walk through here. So we're gonna hop up here now, go over the deck. Yep, the deck is a little bit taller than most, but if you have decent sized equipment, it's not a big deal. You can also quick take off these posts in the back, but I actually kind of like them on there because I double stack this, and when I come in with my forks, I back out and I use that kind of to push the logs back on top. It's heavy duty, no rinky-dink chains. All the rollers are an hourglass shape, kind of helps get the log down into where it needs to be, and they are all powered. So basically if it gets on there, it's gonna feed. I was nervous about this as well, as many of you guys are with the European style, but if you're buying decent quality wood, it's not an issue. Everything that I have over there, you can see there's big knots and stuff like that. That's not an issue. This is all hickory over here, but yeah, if you're buying specific wood, you're gonna be okay. If you're trying to run junk through any processor, you're not really gonna get nice, good sellable wood out anyways. So that's a non-factor in my opinion. The Easton Made Evo did feed better though. So also a byproduct of being on here, on the trailer, is when I double stack this, I can just walk right over here to my left, push the log in. Sometimes I use my cant hook to manipulate that top log in, which is a nice feature and unknown byproduct of being on the trailer. The trailer also keeps you out of the mud. If you're on a job site and it's all muddy, you can sit right here. Nice, super heavy duty railing. You can lean right up against that and just chill, and you're splitting wood. So basically, kill switch, this determines how fast my conveyor goes for the throw right here. This is my live deck infeed and reverse, start button, and then you come over here, hit this green button, and you're up and running. So basically, all you do for this machine is one-handed, pull back, cut, you have to hold it until it's done cutting, tap it forward, and that automatically will split this, or start the splitting cycle, and then you can feed your next log in just like that. So it's boom. So it's literally 3 movements to run your logs in, and then you can just come over here and do this whenever you need to. The 2 yellow buttons right here are for up and down. This being a 500 model does have an automatic adjustable wedge based off of the diameter, but I like the manual. This also comes standard with 2 last log trays, so 1 on either side. There's a small gap between, but that is also all automatic. So basically, every time you infeed a log, these trays will come up, and then as soon as the machine senses that the cut has been complete, it'll actually automatically drop your log into the trough here, and you just tap this forward and you're splitting. Again, all hydraulic here. I got an 8-way in here. The wedges are all interchangeable without equipment. Super simple. You can reach all of your logs right here. There's no controls to, if you have a log in there, you're like, crap, I don't want to split that log, that's super junky, whatever, but the rest of the log was good, no big deal. You reach down, you grab it, throw it behind you. So that is another benefit of this machine over a few of the others. It's super handy to get into. When you open this cage, it is a safety feature. It basically kills the machine functions. It's still running. You close that machine, you hit the green button, everything's live. The saw, we touched on it a little bit. It's all hydraulic tension. It's all automatic. There's nothing that I need to do to tighten it. There's none of that. Changing it, it's literally no bolts other than the bolt that's on the protective shroud in the back. You press down on it, it releases the tension, you put your new chain on, you go back to splitting. It's literally that simple. Obviously this is a European machine, so we are in centimeters, so 40 centimeters is this guy right here. This will also kick back about an inch and a half whenever that cut is complete. That way the log falls down nicely, and the belt will actually reverse maybe a half an inch as well. That's kind of unique. I've never seen that before. So you're releasing tension on both sides if there is any. You can also, if the log is kind of banana shaped coming down in, you can, and it's hitting these plates, but it's actually pinching the bar when you're cutting because it's resting on these plates. You can just hit that green button and those plates will automatically fall down. You can continue cutting. All hydraulic again, like I said, left and right, up and down. This conveyor is an absolute monster compared to what my Evo was. It's 23 inches wide from belt edge to belt edge. The paddles are taller. It's way quieter. It's a little bit longer. It starts off the ground higher, again, byproduct of being on a trailer here. And then the other thing is there's no rubber flaps that you have to mess with to get the wood to flow into the conveyor hopper, I guess we'll call it, this bigger area down here. This is all 90 degree. The side walls as you go up are almost 90 degree. I do like the little grate there, allows some of the junk to fall through so it doesn't go up the conveyor and into your pile. So the pile off of this is a cleaner product than what I had on my Evo. I do have a disc cleaner right there. So yeah, if there's any questions, let me know. Like I said, I think I can put 20 cord here probably without having to move this machine. I do have to move some of that, but this being higher off the ground, I can probably split 10 cord before I have a serious mess down here. And that's about what you see. That's about 10 to, I would say that's maybe 10, 15 cord in this spot. And I haven't done anything down there. The Evo wouldn't happen. And there would be a bunch of stuff off the side. It just is what it is. This is a better thought out design. It's quieter. Everything about this machine, except for the feeding, is better. And the log deck on that was a 3-strand. But like I said, you know, my wood is specifically bought, you know, that it fits nicely on this. No trickery, no editing. You see what you get. This unit weighs about the same as the Evo. The head unit, we'll call it, or the processor itself with nothing else is almost 4,000 pounds. So it's compact, but there's a lot of metal in there and a lot of, you know, engineering and heavy duty stuff going on there. So don't be afraid of that. And then I think this was like 1,500 pounds. All in all, we're right about the same weight, 7,500 pounds out the door. So there's the wedges. Again, no tools to take those out, and they're all manageable. So yeah, any questions, let me know.